Hello ladies and gentlemen, Mike here from Like Designs, bringing you a quick tutorial. Now this tutorial is for those people out there who don't know how to use Cinema 4D, who want to get started, who want to make their own intros. They're sick and tired of asking other people to make them intros. Although those people who do make intros for people, they don't really mind people asking, because I mean that's what they do. But it's always good to get off on your own feet and make your own intros, because you have a lot more creativity if you do it that way. Alright, so first thing you need is obviously Cinema 4D. You could also make intros with Adobe After Effects, or you can make something on Cinema 4D and then transfer it over to After Effects to add some more effects to it. For example, color correction and so on. But Cinema 4D is the basic stuff for the 3D text and so on that you're going to be adding to your intro. So first thing you want to do is set up your settings for video. So what you do is you go up here to render settings, and you're going to want to set these have the right settings for video rendering. Hold on one second. Sorry, I'm a bit sick. Okay, so I've already got a setting for video, so I'm just going to select it and show you guys basically how all the settings you're going to be setting. Now first you go to general and have it on full render. After that, go to output and make sure you have whatever preset you want. I usually have 1920 by 1080, 1080p, so you can have the best quality. So the way you can do that is going over to this little tab right here, and then you can select what you want. Like I said, I have the HDTV version, which makes it full 1080p, and it looks real good. So, or you can make your own custom resolution here. After that, frame range, you're gonna wanna set it however long your intro is. So as you can see down here, for example, if your intro is from frame 0 to frame 85, you'd be able to tell. It's simple. You go up here and you set from to 0 and 2 to 85, like that. But I'm just gonna keep it at 0 right now because I haven't made anything yet. And you can do the same. You can do this after you've made your intro, and then save. This is the important part. This is extremely important. You go to save, check it, make sure it's checked. It usually is. And then you go over here and you browse to your desktop. I typically save my stuff to desktop. Now you can name the file name anything. I normally name it video, so it's gonna stay like that. Now format's also very important. I usually use QuickTime simply because it's easier. AVI movies fucks up sometimes on my computer, so I'm not going to be using that. You can do more advanced settings right here, like better quality and so on. I'm going to leave it as it is. Now, everything else you don't mess with unless you want to. Alpha channel basically gets rid of anything that is not 3D. For example, if you place a text and you have all this blackness around, and you enable alpha channel, it gets rid of all that blackness. And if you were to take that text and put it on Adobe Photoshop or something like that, then it'll only show the text and everything around would be clear, see-through. Multipass, you can leave everything just how it is. Anti-aliasing, depending on your computer speed for rendering, I highly recommend going max everything you can, simply because the quality will be better. So anti-aliasing best. You can do geometry or none if you want the rendering process to be faster. Now setting it on 16 by 16 reduces your rendering, not a lot, but depends on your computer, minimum level, you want to have it always on 1 by 1 because it's what it starts on, and it's, you know what I mean. Alright, and everything else just leave how it is. Now to options. Options here, you can leave them as they are, or you can change them. Changing the options will either decrease or increase your rendering time. So I highly recommend you either leave it the same, or if you actually know what you're doing, or you can copy what I have on here. Just pause the video or something. Now, these effects right here called ambient occlusion and global illumination. I'm going to show you how to get those effects. Basically, just go down to effect and ambient occlusion would be there, and also global illumination if I had not checked them already. So since they're already on mine, they won't show up on here, but they will show up on yours if you have not added them yet. Now, sorry for the voice. I'm a bit sick, like I said, so I sound kind of fucked up. Now, ambient occlusion and global illumination will, and this isn't a yes or no, maybe, or maybe depending on your computer speed, this will decrease your rendering time by increase your rendering time. Sorry, it will increase it by a lot. So if you have ambient occlusion and global illumination enabled, it basically gives you more realistic shadows and more realistic lighting. Hold on. So yeah, ambient occlusion and global illumination will increase your rendering time by a lot, substantially, like a lot. Like you'll get, like depending on the scene, you'll get maybe 30 to a minute per frame. And if you have like like 500 frames, your computer will be sitting there for a long time. So we're gonna disable that. It basically adds more realistic lighting and more realistic shadowing, which we do not need right now. So, once we do all that, you can either save your new render settings by going down here and save preset. I've already got mine saved, so yeah. And if you want to have your preset, for example, if you start up Cinema 4D and you want to load it up, you just go to load preset, but it won't be checked automatically. So you take this and click on the tab, and then once that's highlighted, then you know your preset will be selected. For example, if I highlight this render setting, the original, it cuts off right here. So this is how big the resolution will be. Now video 1920 by 1080, it increases it by a lot. Okay, so we're gonna add a text, motext. We're gonna name this whatever, doesn't really matter. Like designs. And now we can do a bunch of things to the text at this moment right now. You can change the font. I typically have my font on Impact, which is my favorite font on here, or you can download a bunch of other fonts on the internet. You can also increase the depth of the text, make it bigger like this. Makes it look a bit cooler. You can also do things like caps, and I don't mean caps as in caps lock, I mean caps as in that. Basically, cap is the end or the start of your text, which is basically what closes off the text and stops it from looking like this, like that. But of course we want that, and if you don't, then you know what I mean, just go with it. But we're gonna add a fillet cap, which is typically what I add. Makes it look like this. It looks pretty cool, but I also typically give it more steps to round off the edge a lot more, like this. So you can see the edge is a lot more rounded now. So now, to add color to your text, we're gonna go to File, New Material. We're gonna double click on Material, or you can do all the settings down here like that. I typically double click and do this. Now we're gonna change the color to whatever you want, whatever you prefer. I prefer blue, so I'm gonna change it to blue. And once you do that, then there's a few things you can do. You can either leave it blue like that, just regularly, or you can make do a lot of options here. Specular basically adds that light right there as if a sun or a source of light were to be shining on it. Getting rid of it basically gets rid of the notion that there's a light shining on it. You can add reflection, which is what I basically do. Now when you first select reflection, you'll get this, and depending on what you like, that is not good, because you typically want the